Hello, everybody. Welcome to CyberKriya, the show where cybersecurity wisdom happens one podcast at a time. Today's episode is a very special one. I have my very first Gen Z, if I'm sounding right, guest, 17-year girl, which inspires even me every day. Somebody I would love my daughter to follow and learn from her. When I was doing this whole research about her, I know I follow her on LinkedIn. That's how we got connected. I So let me start with that. So at 13, when there was a lockdown, when teenagers were struggling with online classes, she built a Python bot to automate her Zoom attendance. That led her to become a cybersecurity researcher, somebody who secure something like a NASA's security, all before turning 18. I believe she's still 17. So please join me to welcome Bandana Kaur to the show. Bandana, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. And just to correct you a bit, I just turned 18 a couple months ago in the US.
Okay, so happy birthday, happy belated birthday, Bandana.
Thank you.
Uh, so you can officially vote, I believe, in India, right?
Yeah.
Um, so So, for the audience who may not know you, I know you have a huge following on LinkedIn, on Instagram. You are known as Hack with Her. But let's just do a small introduction from your side, Bandana, if you can.
So, if I were to describe myself, I would say that I am a curious cat beyond all of the cybersecurity titles and stuff. And I'm curious about hacking, I'm curious about cybersecurity, and I just love finding creative solutions to problems. And I believe that's what makes me a cybersecurity researcher. I professionally work with AppySec. I'm a security research engineer there as an intern. And I'm independently researching LLM security, and I'll be presenting some of that work at Blackhat Middle East and Africa soon. And yeah, I've also worked with the United Nations Dynamic Teen Coalition on digital rights and privacy for teenagers. So that's some of my work.
So, you said you just turned 18. So, at age of 18, Bandana, you are a UN ambassador. You are speaking at Black Hat. You are leading some research on AI, and I don't know, you're doing things which somebody even like me would dream. So I want to know, how does all this started? Maybe let's take all of us back to the why and the Eureka moment, and how does Bandana become a Bandana today? And I'm all wish all the good luck for you, because that's what we need. We want all Gen Zs to be like you, is because we want secure place, and cyber is a real threat for everything we do in day-to-day life, right? So I want to hear, I start from where it all started and on your journey, Bandana, if you can share.
Yeah, I really appreciate you seeing me as an inspiration to young people now, and I really believe that people of my generation, like Gen Z and even your daughter Gen Alpha and all that stuff, we really need to be in cybersecurity, because like odds are, if you show a teenager a hacker movie, they will really be like, yeah, I want to be a hacker too. But cybersecurity is just so gate kept by all the stereotypes and everything that kids and teens just have a hard time seeing themselves as cybersecurity professionals. As for me, I was 13 when I got cyberbullied, and that's what led me to spend a lot of time by myself exploring my own interests. And that's when I built the Zoom bot. And for a long time, I would just code for convenience. I would make little bots and everything to automate little parts of my life. And then I watched this Netflix series that's called Salvation. And that was the first time that I actually saw a hacker in a TV series save the world, and it was a girl. So that was what made me really see myself in her. And I was like, I'm gonna try to be a hacker. So I started reading blogs and articles online, and I stumbled upon open source intelligence. And I was just like 13, 14. I had recently joined Instagram. All of my friends were posting pictures of themselves pretty regularly. And I read about how those pictures could be geolocated through open source intelligence. And being a 14-year-old curious kid, I decided to learn how to geolocate pictures. And that's kind of how I got started in certain security related stuff. And then I started solving random motion challenges off of Twitter and everything. And I started posting write ups on LinkedIn. So that's how a lot of people got to know me. And later I got started with CTFs on Try Hack Me. And later I found out that I'm a lot more interested in web application penetration testing and now AI security.
Wow, Bandana. So as I was saying, like you are truly an inspiration, which I at least look towards you on LinkedIn and things you're doing, get inspired. But I really want my uh, kid, my daughter, and maybe the kids like her in her age, or even like the maybe older too, right? Because we have the generation where, as you said, they are all over the social media, the Insta and I think, and this is where they are living, right? And you're saying uh, at the age when they are putting pictures, you kind of got your why of securing it, right? And then like watching a Netflix series and all. So how do we make more bandana like you? Like I know we have one bandana, but I think we need to kind of I don't know, expand this, multiply it. So I don't know whatever you
Yeah.
gonna call it in your lingo. So what's one thing a parents, if they are watching you or they're listening to you? I mean, like me, I'm in the cyber field, but I still feel like I don't want. I would love to have her join cyber, but I don't want to push something on her, right? So how do you kind of find balance and what we can do as a parent? Maybe because I think I want to hear from your side because you are somebody who's living that. So as a parent, what I should be doing, Bandana, if you can.
So, as a parent, I would say that just support your kid no matter what they decide to do, but to gently nudge them towards cyber, you have to keep them aware. And awareness, like it has positive impact all around because then your child will be aware of good cybersecurity practices and they'll also be interested in cybersecurity. So, to give you an example, when it comes to my generation, we believe in show rather than tell. If you tell somebody, like a 17 or a 14-year-old, oh, change your passwords every now and then, they probably won't listen to you. But if you show them that, hey, this is how a hacker can brute force your password or get your password off of a previous data breach, they're gonna be like, yeah, this is really cool. I should probably change my password. So this is like one of the ways where you keep your kids aware and also gently nudge them towards a career in cybersecurity. And as for my parents, particularly, throughout the majority of my cybersecurity journey, my parents did know that I like to code a little bit, but they didn't know I'm into cybersecurity at all because I live in India. And in 10th grade, I had board exams, and in 11th and 12th, I was preparing for university entrance exams. So I was kind of not allowed to code for a bit, but I still kept learning about cybersecurity and hiding from them. And eventually, they found out in 11th, and they were really proud of me, and they still are very proud of me. And that's what keeps me going. So just support them no matter what and keep them cyber aware.
So you're saying you didn't even like, your parents didn't even know like you were doing cyber until you became famous, right? That's how it happened. Like how did they figure it out?
Yeah, so one day my dad accidentally saw my LinkedIn, but he didn't have the complete idea of what I was doing. So this was somewhere around August of 2023. And then in September, I was featured on my first ever podcast. So when the promotional clip for that podcast came out, it was my dad's birthday. So I decided to reveal everything to him on his birthday.
So you made your dad proud, I believe, and we'll talk about your dad and I think your family because I wanna touch why you are in US right now. So we'll cover that part too. But what was that the reaction from your parents on that time?
He was shocked. Like my dad was shocked, my mom was shocked, but they were just really, really proud of me that I decided to pursue my passion. And I believe the best career path is when you turn your passion into your career. So I guess yeah, they're just really proud of me and they're my support system.
This is a good shock to have, right? I think we always hear all these movies and maybe things like that where parents get different shocks, right? So this is a shock. I think I wish every parent should get right from their kids, right? A daughter or son. Um, uh, so let's talk about why you are in US. We'll try to even talk about one of your conferences and the Black Hat, maybe other things. Anything else you want to share before we try to maybe know more about your why you are in the US and what you're doing at whatever place you are right now?
Not really. Let's just keep the conversation going here.
Okay. So I know you are part of our NIST and NICE Cyber Ambassador program, and unfortunately, we couldn't do our on-site this year because of shutdown. But let's hear why you are in US and what you are doing here, and the things you did for whatever time, like the conferences you spoke. I know you went to New York in some conference. You are going to Blackhat. So let's go on that journey for some time. And
Yeah, so I've pretty much been in India most of my life, and there's only so much that you can learn in one place. Even if you are in cybersecurity, I love learning new things from new people. And I recently attended an event at Harvard, which was on like climate change and climate technology. So I just love learning things that are outside of my comfort zone. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come to the US, really explore Boston and Massachusetts and the mentally stimulating environment here, and hopefully learn some new stuff and expand my horizons beyond the stuff that I could learn in India. And another part of the reason I'm here is because my dad has a fellowship with Harvard University, and he's doing bioinformatics. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying my time here. And I had a conference in New York, which was the International Youth Conference. That went really good. And I had a couple people I wanted to meet here, some professors, and some people at Harvard.
so at 17 now 18, the wisdom you have, the the understanding, the thought process, even the things you are doing. I don't think when I was like 18, even like at this age also, I feel like I'm so behind as a human being to you are. So what is the reasoning behind all this? Just how you have been raised, your parents, because you said you are you live in India, right? I don't think, and I was in India at your age too, right? And maybe it's a new generation kids thing because you guys are exposed and you are born in this age. But if you have to say maybe pick one thing or maybe two thing or maybe more if you want, like what is the reason, like how come you have such a clarity of thought, such a clarity of what you want to be, and the wisdom you bring, Banna, like I just feel like this is something should be infectious to all the kids in all over the world. But what is your one or two thing, like how come you are who you are, Banna? Is it just I don't know, effort, time, and what is your response to that?
So, first of all, it's really sweet of you to say that. And honestly, you shouldn't feel like you're running behind because you're one of the people who have like served as an inspiration to me. So like you can never run behind. And I think yeah, you're right when you say that one of the reasons is because of my generation, and we are gaining knowledge that's much beyond the place that we're confined to. We're watching like a kid a kid staying in India, in Delhi, is watching YouTube videos and consuming content from people all around the world. And you can use that to get badly influenced, and you can use that to get influenced in a good way as well. And I try to be influenced in a good way as much as possible. And definitely another one of the reasons is that I'm very privileged. And I'm privileged enough to grow up in a household where my parents really, really support me. And they sent me to a good school, and I was just raised in a very good way.
So one thing you mentioned, there is a good and bad content, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's a whole algorithm, and if you watch one, it will start feeding you similar
Yeah.
content, right? But as a parent, if I can, maybe I will just say, okay, just push all the good content, which probably I can't, right? Um, so for somebody like a 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I mean until 18, I mean beyond, right? Uh, if they are listening, I don't think they may be listening, or maybe they should be after this episode, because I have more, I don't know, audience from my kind of a thing. But this is where probably we want to bring everybody together, right? So I think after this podcast, I hope I will have kids listening to it as well. So if they're listening, but not to you right now, and if they are in that age range, uh, what do you recommend to them? So I know there's whole Insta, like I know they are there, and you know more than this all these things, right? I think I struggle. I'm more on LinkedIn, I'm more on YouTube than Insta and these things. So what's if they're listening to you, and if you're talking to them, I will let you just talk to them directly. Just assume I'm not there. You're talking to all the Gen Zs or Gen Alphas.
So I would say that like the time that we live in right now is absolutely insane. You can absolutely achieve whatever you want to do in life. You come from a small village in India, but you want to be an astronaut? You can do it. You want to be a hacker? You can do it. Doesn't matter how old or young you are, you have access to knowledge that no other generation has had in a very long time. We have access to AI. We can use it to study, we can use it for good. We have access to all of these online platforms that don't even cost anything, and we can learn from YouTube, and we can do absolutely anything we want to. Like, the way that you choose to spend your time will define your future. And if you feel like you're passionate about something, just go for it. There's nothing stopping you.
So you said you were cyber bullied, and then that was one of the reason how you kind of intrigued into this field, right? But the kids probably who are in Indian village, they may not, I don't know, they may not have this incident or whatever, right? Maybe they're just living their life, they're going to school or college, whatever, and they have all the access to YouTube and the Insta, but all they're watching is just those, I don't know, those funny videos or dance videos, right? So I know you said you are privileged and you have that environment, but somebody who may not have that environment, right? So what we as a community should be doing, like, is there something we can do it? Like I always like I have like kind of I come from India too, right? I have my extended family, kids, and in the villages and even the cities also. I feel like there's some other thing going on. There's some, I don't know. I heard like the kids of this generation don't talk to or don't, is there, I don't know, like, I mean, I want to touch that piece too. Like, is there like a, do you have enough friends, or you're more into the devices, and like, is it different generation, or is it like what we as a, I don't know, whatever generation, I forgot, maybe we're millennials, right? So what we as a society or community can do to make sure all the girls in India, all the girls in Africa, or whatever places we have, or even US, right? At least they follow you, somebody like you, they get inspiration from you. Because if they're not on LinkedIn, maybe they're not following you on Instagram, right? Maybe they're watching some other, because there's so much content, there's everything going on. You see, there's bad and good content, right? Is there something we can do to kind of say, okay, follow Banda and don't follow some other person?
Yeah, I believe representation matters a lot. And I also consume funny videos online. I'm a big fan of brain rot and all that stuff. And I think that like this is sort of a generational gap too, where like having friends and having a social life in your generation is very different from having a social life in my generation. The social fabric has changed a lot. I do have a lot of friends in
Okay.
school and college, and my friends do like me. And but I don't hang out with them in real life as much as I talk to them online, and I share videos with them online. And yeah, definitely the idea of social interaction and being like having friends and having a healthy social life has changed a lot. And as for like getting people into cybersecurity at a very young age, I would say that representation definitely matters. And if I can be 13 and I can just look at a girl hacker in a movie and be like, I want to be like her, and like end up actually working in cybersecurity a couple years later. I think that like any girl, if you see somebody that you can see yourself in them, then that definitely matters a lot. And especially with my generation, I believe that we idolize people a lot. And we idolize a lot of the people that we see online. I have seen people in my own friend circle like idolizing celebrities and singers. And well, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, idolizing celebrities has been a thing since your generation too. But I think that like we should definitely start idolizing pilots and astronauts and scientists and researchers too, so that our next generations can try to be like them as well.
Okay, so if there is a 13-year girl, maybe not trying to create a Python both for now because there is no lockdown. They are doing their normal school. Uh, what they can do, like you said, there's a lot of content on YouTube. There's a lot of content, free resources available, right? But you do need a laptop. You do need
Yeah.
like some kind of a maybe. So is there like some platform which you can use to start the cybersecurity journey to learn basics? Because also I feel like there's so much content, you may get like a so much so much noise also, right? So maybe you get distracted, right? So is there a path they can follow? Like if you have to say this is what I did, maybe you can, if you can even follow this maybe 10% of this thing, you can at least have some cyber security. And yeah, if you like it, then you pursue. Otherwise, you pick other professional career, right? So is there like something you wanna recommend for the audience? Like, okay, do this, watch these contents. Maybe there's some channels you wanna recommend. We can put it on our podcast too. Like, do you have some kind of cheat sheet or something you can share, Bandana, if you have to, or if you can?
Yeah, definitely. And like about the challenge that you mentioned with a lot of people not having access to technology and stuff, I believe that that's one of the challenges in India that I hope to solve one day. And a lot of technology, like even if people have access to it, it isn't truly accessible. And I want to help change that someday, and I hope to. And as for helping get like young minds into cybersecurity, you definitely have to like have a curiosity for things, and you have to have the urge to experiment with new things. So if if you feel like you want to be a hacker, first start by learning what cybersecurity really is. Beyond all the movie stereotypes and I hacked into the mainframe cliches, I believe cybersecurity is for everyone. Doesn't matter if you have a technical aptitude or not, whether you're like more mathematically inclined or more creative. That sort of stuff doesn't matter. There's lots of paths in cybersecurity you can take, but a general roadmap I would recommend is pick up a niche in cybersecurity and experiment with it for a couple of weeks. If it clicks with you, stick with it. Otherwise, move on. For me, that starting niche was OSINT, and although I don't directly work in OSINT now, I'm still very much interested in it. And I have also delivered a guest lecture on open source intelligence techniques to Indian government CISOs. So, open source intelligence is something I'm still very much passionate about, but it wasn't a full career path for me. So, I would say that, like, pick up a niche, experiment it for a bit, and if it doesn't click, then move on. And you can definitely use ChatGPT for this. Like, you can use lots of AI tools to create a roadmap for you and find resources. But a couple of YouTube channels that I would recommend is that, like, if you're into OSINT, then I would say TCM Security has a really good free course on YouTube. It's, I think, 8 hours long, and you can follow along. And there's also this really nice YouTuber. His name is Ryan John, and he makes videos on mostly bug bounty hunting and web application penetration testing. And his videos were the ones I watched to learn web app pen testing. So those are two YouTube channels that I would recommend. And also, a really fun YouTube channel is Cyber Maddies. I love her videos. And another one is Adi Lamar, and she makes really interesting videos on privacy and surveillance tech. So there's lots of people you can follow on YouTube, and I always support my fellow content creators. So yeah.
And on my side, whenever I kind of a girl reach out to me, or even uh, a boy, I think I say I only know hack with her. Uh, Follow her on LinkedIn,
Great.
follow her on Insta. I think so. I think I only know hack with her. I think I may have sent a few kissed over you because just I say just watch her journey, just watch, learn. So let's talk about hack with her. But I think I want to know more about hack with her, who she is, and what she's doing in her Insta and whatever things. She's just killing it all over the place. So who's hack with her?
Thank you so much for complimenting me, and your appreciation really means a lot. And I would say Hackwither, like at the core of it, Hackwither is a curious cat,
Okay,
and I am passionate about making a change in the world.
but
And
that's you, right? Hack with her is Bandana Kaur.
yeah, essentially,
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah.
And Hackwither is my personal brand that I started when I was about 15 or 16. And I remember I was preparing for an entrance exam, and I was working on my symbol for hack with her at the same time. So that was just a really funny moment. But now that I've come to realize, I'm passionate about two, three things mainly. The first is accessibility. Like, I want cybersecurity education to be accessible to all. And a lot of cybersecurity practices that we have now, like even multi factor authentication and all that stuff, it's not accessible to all people. And I want to help change that. So, accessibility is one of the things I'm passionate about. Another thing is representation and helping young girls, and particularly young Indian girls, see themselves as hackers and see themselves as cybersecurity professionals. And I believe that's really important. And another thing I'm passionate about is hacking not being seen as just a crime. Like, this is going to be the topic for one of my talks at Blackhat. But hacking actually started before even computers were here. There were hackers before even computers existed. And to me, I would define a hacker as somebody who's passionate about solving a problem and solves it very creatively. So those are the three things I am passionate about as Hack With Her. And yeah.
So somebody wants to join or follow you, the hack with her, the Bandana Kaur. I believe you have a Discord link and some other things too, which if you are okay, we can share it on our podcast too. We'll love to, because that's what we want to know. Like, if somebody is watching this, we want to give them call to action, right? Like, okay, there are these YouTube channels which you can listen to or follow, and then if they have more questions and if they want to follow Hack with Her, which is the Bandana Kaur, connect on via Discord. I believe you have a Discord group too, right,
Yeah.
Bandana? So they can join there. Like, is there like any requirement there? Like, who should be joining? Who should be kind of a is there,
No,
or it's open
my
for everybody?
yeah,
Even
my
I can join too.
yeah, you can definitely join
Okay.
too. We're open to all generations.
Okay. So
But
we are
my
allowed. We are
yeah, you're
allowed, right?
allowed.
Okay.
My Discord is a bit inactive right now because I'm
Okay.
focused on like Black Hat and all of my personal engagements. But I plan on getting back to it soon, and I share some exclusive resources on Discord, like roadmaps, and if somebody has any questions, we have a separate channel for those, and we have a role on our Discord which is Cyber Mentor, and people like answer questions there. And so it's just like a small interactive community that I have. And I receive a lot of questions in my Instagram DMs on like how to get started in cybersecurity and all that stuff. So the Discord server is kind of how I handle those questions. And other than that, I'm active on Instagram. My handle is Hack With Her, and I'm active on YouTube as well. So if anybody has any questions or anything, I sometimes check my Instagram DMs. So those are my social media platforms.
I feel like we need to replicate or maybe empower you, because that we all have 24 hours, right? And the way you are doing, and you're just 18, you're doing internship, you are traveling, you are speaking at Black Hat and AI conferences, doing research in the AI world as well. I know we probably do a different deep dive sessions around AI and everything you are doing there. But is there something we can do as I know? So I think we are doing something, right? So let's talk about the volunteer work. I know you are part of our NIST and NICE cybersecurity ambassador. Maybe let's also talk about Rasha, how such amazing. I know we probably will try to get her on our show as well. So anything you want to share about the work we do as a cybersecurity ambassador and why that is critical for? I feel like it's all related, right? The things we're talking, we just talked for last 20 minutes or so, and then the vision and the mission, we are doing it with NIST and NICE, and that's also probably that's how we connected, I believe, right? You
Yeah.
and me, right? So let's touch that story for our audience, and maybe if they can also join our ambassador program, no matter where they are, and maybe that's how it starts, right? So anything there, Banna? Anything want to share there?
Yeah, so the mission of our NIST and NICE Ambassador program really aligns with what I believe in as Hack With Her. And so the NICE program has really, like, it's a forum and it has given me an audience and it's empowered me. And because of the NICE program, I've met incredible people like you and Rasha ma'am, who have been my mentors. And so I would recommend like anybody who is watching this episode to join the ambassador program. It is open to all, and you just get to learn a lot from a variety of new people. And yeah, so it has definitely provided me with an audience and a forum. And like last year, I organized, like for Cybersecurity Week, I organized an interactive workshop online for about 600 teenagers to see themselves as hackers and get to know about careers in cybersecurity. And I believe that for the future, as I mentioned, representation is important. And kids and teens need to see themselves as hackers and get to know about careers in cybersecurity. And that is one of the main things that our NICE Ambassador program is doing. And I believe that we're doing a great job at that. Like, our co chairs are amazing, our ambassadors are amazing. And yeah, like, I believe that everybody should join.
I'm just fortunate enough to be able to. I think when we launched that program, I think it was 3 years before, if not more. I was part of the core working group, and as you said, the co-chairs are amazing. They are doing an amazing job. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet you. I think there was a whole plan to even meet in person. I was looking forward to it as well, but maybe next year. But yeah, if you're watching our NICE cybersecurity ambassador program, the mission is the same as we're discussing. We want to bring everybody here. I think we want representation, especially from women's, from girls. Um, Come join us. We'll share how you can join. There are some onboarding trainings which happens, and you can be in anywhere in the world. It's not limited to just US, as you can see. Bandana, she was from in India when she joined. Now she is in US for some time and hopefully for longer. But yeah, that's the program. It's like a volunteer. We all are volunteer. It's just something we do because we are passionate about it, bringing yeah everybody here. Like somebody like Bandana who's already excelling it and expanding the mission, and maybe get the next 13 year or 14-year girl from India, Africa, I don't know, all over the world. So we'll share details about that. Uh, I will try to maybe get a call or maybe a podcast with Russia and maybe you together. That would be cool, Banna.
Yeah.
And maybe some other ambassador from our program. I know we missed our meet this year. And I want to touch something. I think I reach out to you as you were saying, right? Like a 13-year, a 14-year, a 15-year, whatever age they are still in that whole figuring it out, right? They are still learning. They don't know what they would become eventually, their purpose. There, I know you are fortunate enough to get your why or purpose very early. I feel like you are ahead, so far ahead, because I talk to my kids, not my kids, like my extended family kids who are like similar age. They're still figuring it out. They're figuring it out. Okay, I just want to be engineer. And in India, there was always two options, right? You just do a IT, or you become a doctor, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that thing is still there, at least for
Yeah.
some part of it. But I wish like we were like more like open, just go figure it out, and you don't have to just crack IET. You can do good even without I would not say degree. I think you the degree does help you in some way, but the wisdom doesn't just come from the degree, right? That's just part of the puzzle. The puzzle is the bigger puzzle you will solve with doing whatever you are doing it, right? So do you think, Bandana, like, what's your take on the education? I know you are still 18, so probably you would be doing your undergrad, right? And you're still doing an internship even before the age of 18, because I don't think people do internship after when they're 18 or 19. I think you're ahead in that whole journey, right? But you're exception, I feel. It's not That's not a common thing for everybody else, right? So somebody who's like 18, 19, maybe trying to crack into IITs for the Indian audience, right? Um, what's your advice to them? Is it like a just wishing for IIT, like okay, giving a dropping out 1 year if they haven't got into IIT, or no, just do engineering if you love math, but do these other things, because the degree will not just make you who you are. So what's your advice on those kids who may be listening or watching to you?
So, like personally for me, let me tell you my own story. Like in 10th, I scored really good. I was one of my school toppers and I got like 98%. But then like my parents thought that like I'll probably excel and I'll go to an IIT or something like that. So my parents definitely had those expectations
Yeah.
for me, although they never put any pressure on me, but they did have those expectations. So I was enrolled into a coaching institute for like IIT JEE preparation, and I went there for about 6 months. And my schedule when I was like in that coaching institute was horrible. Like I would study till 4 5 a.m. in the morning, then wake up around 11, go to coaching, get back home at night, and then study all night. And like even though I scored very good there, I was in one of the top 40 50 students, but that was emotionally and mentally really draining for me. And eventually like I ignored that, but eventually like it started to affect my health and I got sick and I had to take a leave from Fiji for a little while. And that was like this was somewhere around June of 2023, and that was when I really started to get more attracted towards cybersecurity. And I slowly stopped prioritizing J so much, and I realized that there's so much to life beyond these competitive exams, and there's so much that I can do with my passion. And to anybody watching, like, I know that I come from a very privileged position. I was able to leave coaching, and I know that like a lot of people might not be so privileged to have that option, but like there's a lot of people who can definitely thrive in the system and get into IITs, but most people can't. And I recently made a video on my Instagram about this, and it got like 2.5 lakh views, and a lot of students were commenting that they can't do JE anymore and it's draining the life out of them, and this is just so sad. And so I believe that like you should try your best to make your parents proud in that sense. But if you are passionate about something and if you are fortunate enough to identify that you're passionate about it, definitely try to mobilize that passion as well.
Yeah, no, I would say just I will add because I have lived those times myself too. Um, and there's a lot of pressure on the kids. I
Yeah.
think at this age, right? Like you are 17, 18, uh, you're a kid, right? And expectation. Uh, if I just have to maybe go back to my own experience. I couldn't make to IT, but I was again fortunate enough to get into a good college on a state level. Got a good ranking and fortunate enough to get into a job and everything. Then became who I am today. I feel like I'm still learning. I haven't reached where I should be, but yeah, I found my why purpose as well. And cyber is one of the I would say why and purpose. I feel like that cyber brings that vibe which yeah there's fun there is there's you feel like you're doing something which is kind of contributing back to the community to the company you're working for. But to a kid like yes I think this whole if like JE is not for everybody, right? So I feel like in India is so much of this pressure, and I thought that probably would have changed now, but it's for me like 20 years back, I'm talking about 25 years back, and I feel like still the same stigma is there, same problem is there. All these kids, they are going to all these different coachings and dropping out, and this pressure of getting into IT, and like what is the end game? Like at the end you want to maybe get a good job, maybe get a purpose and passion. The degree may not even matter whether you did from IT. It matter in some way because you get a good community. And yeah, if you're good enough, I think yeah, as you said, it may work out for you. But we all not everybody not should be trying to get into IT. I feel like that is where we don't do a good job as a parent, and maybe that should change. But I didn't realize that whole thing is still there. Kids is struggling, they're still kind of going into the soul coaching, so it's like a loop, right? You get into
Yeah.
loop, and then if you get out on time is good, but if you don't get on time it's just like a cycle, right? You and we just have to maybe we're not doing good enough job like to explain this to kids. This is not like the real world is different, right? You can do good even not without a college, or even if you did it from a decent college, not from IIT. As long as you have somebody like a Bandana or mentor, I feel like that having that mentor in your life early maybe is maybe one thing you should do than just going to all these coachings and become like more like machine, right?
Yeah, and like to add something here, like it's sometimes it's not even the parents' fault. Like most of the time, it's not even the parents' fault. Parents don't put that much pressure. Like especially for me, my parents didn't. My parents never said that, oh, you have to get into an IT. But it's the society that we are raised in, and it's the system that has been going on for decades. Like I remember when I left coaching, like the months after that, and when I was giving JE in 12th, I remember like when my mom told somebody that I had like left
Yeah.
coaching, they were always like, they always gave her so much pity that, oh, we're so sorry to hear that she left coaching. And yeah, it's the society that we're being raised in, and now I would say like it's even worse because there are these coaching institutes that are capitalizing off of this. And like from a student's perspective, like if I hadn't found cybersecurity, and like I didn't perform very well in JEE at all. So if I hadn't found cybersecurity, I would see myself as a huge failure.
Mm.
And I can't even imagine what like a normal student goes through when they have that. And like yeah, I just hope the system gets better with time.
I know I maybe I can use a Hindi, and as you rightly say, this is the system and the society pressure, right? I remember when I was a kid, I would hear like, "Log kya kahenge?" That char log kya
Yeah.
kahenge? I don't know. And I used to joke like, "Where are those four people?" Right? Like you still don't see them, right? Just like invisible pressure, like what people would say about it if they hear, okay, I don't know, you didn't pursue your coaching or you didn't get into a college you wanted to. Uh, but I think that the world has changed. I feel like the parents, as you say, they're not that much putting pressure and all. I think it is getting better for sure, for good. But we still need to do a good job as a society, as a community, and just be there for the kids. I feel like it's more on the parents, more on the society to just let the kids know like this is okay. If you get into IT, it's okay. If you don't get into IT, it's okay. You would find your way. And I have like so much story even from my generations, right? I think and like in my engineering college, the toppers the toppers are also doing okay. The backbenchers, like who kind of they had whatever, I don't know, they failed maybe whatever, but they just cleared their engineering degree for just for like on the passing mark. They're doing so good in their life. So it's I think everybody, I think the life, everybody gets their thing eventually. It may take some time. Maybe somebody would get it like in faster than others, but you would eventually find your purpose and why. So I know, just for the sake of time, Bandana, I know if we I have to let you go with the promise of, I think, doing a second or third podcast. Maybe we'll do one of the technical sessions, deep dive with you. Maybe we go more deep into it. Like, okay, if somebody is watching, where shall I? Maybe we can just go into YouTube and the whole path. I want to see like how do we give this path to the kids? Anybody who's listening to it, maybe just share the resources if you can. Talk more about AI. Maybe try to get Rasha and if others can join. Any last advice, last thing you want to share for our audience? I think your audience is mainly those. Maybe for me, I'm following you, so I'm good. I think I will keep following. I will learning from you. But I think I want to make this episode more for the young generation, the Gen Zs and Gen Alpha. So, what's your maybe final departing advice to them?
So I would say that like if you're passionate about something and if you set your mind to it, you can do absolutely anything. And like the generation that we're living in, yeah, there's like systemic failures that we're subjected to, but like we can always make it out of that. There's always like a treasure at the end of the rainbow. And if you're passionate about something, go for it.
And I know there's a wish list. Maybe we'll try to cover that part too, which I was trying to. I know you and my daughter and some other girls. Maybe there would be a book which would come out, like
Yeah.
cybersecurity for girls and for teens or whatever. That would be at least like my dream as a dad, or maybe as a whatever community member. I want to see, because y- I can write a book. I think I was fortunate to write one book, but I feel like you guys are the real narrator. You guys are the real drivers. It should be coming from you guys. So I would love to see that. I know you're a busy person, but I just throwing it out there as a make sure I know you haven't forgotten about it. But yeah, so those are the things we need to do. We need to kind of have those contents, those avenues, so that if there is somebody who are not sure, they can get your book, they can follow you on LinkedIn, they can watch your, I know, hack with her videos. So that's, we need to touch where all the kids are, right? All the whatever, we say, meet your customers where they are. So we have to meet the young generations where they are today. In Instagram, maybe that's on me also, like on others, people like me, like we need to even be on Instagram to, maybe if you are doing whatever good work, it needs to show up on the other mediums where the kids are there. And don't just leave it to, I don't know, whatever other content. Like we, even this responsibility is on our side too, to make sure we also reach out, we speak your language, understand your language. But thank you, Banna, for coming on the show, and this is always delight. And keep doing what you're doing. I would love to hear more about your Black Hat and other speaking you do. Somebody, if they wanna reach out to you, they wanna hear more about you. What is the best way to connect with you? Is it LinkedIn? Is it a Discord? How they reach out to you, Banna?
Yeah, so it's probably LinkedIn, and my email is banna@hackwithher.co.in. So you can reach out to me there. I'm a lot more responsive on LinkedIn and email.
Okay, so we'll share your link and probably email as well on our podcast. Vandana, thank you for coming on the show. I know there's a lot we wanna do together. There's a lot I wanna see you do together, maybe with other girls of the next generation, inspire the new kids. Um, because I feel like, as you said, show them versus tell them. So I think and you are the real example where they can see it and they can get inspired from. So thank you again. God bless you. Keep shining, keep inspiring, even people like me. Thank you, Mandana.
Thank you so much.